Natalie Wood was more than a Hollywood icon. She was a woman whose life oscillated between dazzling fame and deep, hidden pain. From her earliest years as a child star to her tragic death at Catalina Island, her journey was defined by brilliance, shadowed by trauma. On screen, Natalie embodied innocence, charm, and grace, captivating generations with performances in films like Miracle on 34th Street and West Side Story. Behind the camera, however, she navigated a labyrinth of ambition, fear, control, and secrecy. Her relationships, career pressures, and early experiences shaped a life full of beauty and fragility, and her untimely death left unanswered questions that Hollywood has struggled to confront. To understand Natalie, one must examine both her luminous public persona and the private shadows she carried throughout her life. Early childhood and the burden of fame, Natalie Wood's journey began in San Francisco, born to Russian immigrant parents in 1938. From the start, her childhood was dominated by her mother's ambition and a family life marked by instability. Her father struggled with alcohol and emotional fragility, while her mother pushed Natalie toward stardom without regard for her own wishes. By age 4, she was auditioning and memorizing lines she could barely read, performing on camera while others allowed their children to play. The early immersion into acting gave her recognition and success, but it came at a psychological cost. Experiences like nearly drowning during a film scene instilled a lifelong fear of water, trauma she would carry into adulthood. Her early life was a mixture of glamour and harsh discipline, shaping the dual existence of Natalie Wood, a public figure adored by millions and a private child burdened by fear and control. Rising stardom and the Hollywood machine. By 8, Natalie achieved fame with Miracle on 34th Street, becoming the symbol of innocence for post-war America. Studios immediately recognized her potential for profit and carefully crafted her image. Throughout her childhood and teenage years, she appeared in numerous films and television programs, steadily building a career while sacrificing a normal childhood. On set, she learned to endure physical discomfort, maintain a perfect smile, and suppress natural emotions, creating a polished public persona. These experiences taught Natalie the rules of Hollywood: obedience, charm, and performance above all. Yet behind the scenes, she felt lonely and emotionally exposed, trapped in a system that rewarded perfection but ignored her personal development. Her early success laid the groundwork for both her professional achievements and the emotional vulnerabilities that would shape her adult life and relationships. The trauma that shaped her fear. One pivotal event that haunted Natalie throughout her life was an on-set accident in Green Promise at age 10. A collapsing wooden bridge threw her into rushing water, nearly causing her to drown while filming continued. Her mother insisted the scene be captured, prioritizing the shot over her safety. This experience instilled a lifelong fear of water, shaping her behavior and contributing to the mystery surrounding her death years later. Beyond physical fear, the incident reinforced the pressure to perform at all costs and the absence of emotional protection in her life. It marked the beginning of a recurring theme. Natalie was expected to carry the weight of responsibility, perfection, and public image while navigating trauma alone, a tension that influenced her adult relationships, career decisions, and vulnerability to danger. Rebel without a cause and early exploitation. At 16, Natalie Wood auditioned for Rebel Without a Cause, a turning point in both her career and personal life. Director Nicholas Ray recognized her vulnerability and obedience, forming an ambiguous and ultimately damaging relationship. Around the same time, an assault by a prominent actor left deep psychological scars, compounded by Hollywood's indifference and her mother's prioritization of career over safety. These experiences created a split between her public persona and private reality, a celebrated young actress and a deeply wounded adolescent. Rebel Without a Cause elevated her career and earned critical acclaim, but the role also symbolized the collision of ambition, exploitation, and trauma. This period marked the start of Natalie's lifelong struggle to reconcile professional success with unresolved personal pain, a duality she would later channel into her most acclaimed performances. Artistic breakthrough and emotional depth. In the 1960s, Natalie Wood's acting reached new heights with films like Splendor in the Grass and West Side Story. Under directors who demanded emotional honesty, she mined her own trauma to portray characters experiencing love, desire, and heartbreak. Her performance in Splendor in the Grass revealed layers of vulnerability and intensity that mirrored her own experiences, making her acting raw, compelling, and unforgettable. With West Side Story, she became a cultural icon, capturing the hearts of audiences worldwide. These roles demonstrated that her talent was not simply that of a child star growing up, but of an adult actress transforming personal pain into universal emotion. Her work during this period established her as a serious performer, capable of translating inner wounds into art, blurring the line between Natalie Wood and the character she embodied. Career struggles and studio conflict. Despite her acclaim, Natalie's career faced significant obstacles. Her insistence on autonomy and refusal to accept safe, formulaic roles led to clashes with Warner Brothers, the studio that had groomed her since childhood. The studio responded with suspensions, preventing her from acting and effectively stalling her career during a peak moment. This professional suppression mirrored the personal control she had experienced throughout her life, reinforcing feelings of isolation and frustration. Her eventual decision to buy herself out of the contract and sever ties with long-standing representatives was both courageous and risky, highlighting her commitment to independence. These struggles illustrate the tension between artistic integrity and Hollywood's commercial demands, a recurring theme that shaped her professional trajectory and personal well-being. Romantic turmoil and complex relationships. Natalie's love life reflected the same intensity and fragility as her career. Her first marriage to Robert Wagner was initially celebrated as a Hollywood fairy tale, yet underlying insecurities, jealousy, and career disparities created tensions. During her post-divorce years, she became involved with Warren Beatty, a passionate but destructive relationship that exposed her vulnerabilities and need for emotional connection. Brief romances with other prominent men, including Elvis Presley, further revealed her pattern of seeking love and stability in an industry that often offered only temporary or superficial bonds. Each relationship reflected a woman striving to reconcile desire, trust, and independence, often confronting the unresolved traumas of her past. These experiences contributed to the emotional complexity and depth she later brought to her roles on screen. Second marriage and renewed pressures. Natalie reunited with Robert Wagner years after their initial divorce, entering a second marriage that was quieter and more mature, but still fraught with tension. Their relationship reflected the complexities of long-term attachment, blending love with unresolved trauma, career pressures, and lingering insecurities. While more private than her first marriage, this partnership remained under the scrutiny of public expectation and Hollywood gossip. The dynamic highlighted the enduring impact of Natalie's earlier experiences on her adult life, showing how past wounds shaped her capacity for trust, intimacy, and self-preservation. Even within seemingly stable environments, she navigated a delicate balance between personal fulfillment and the external pressures of fame. The Catalina tragedy and unanswered questions. On November 29, 1981, Natalie Wood's life ended under mysterious circumstances near Catalina Island. Her body was found floating off a yacht, wearing items that hinted at panic or struggle. Water, which had terrified her since childhood, became the site of her death, raising questions that remain unresolved. Conflicting reports from witnesses, including Robert Wagner and the yacht's captain, compounded the mystery. The circumstances surrounding her final hours, combined with her lifelong fears and traumas, suggest a complex interplay of personal vulnerability, relational tensions, and possible accident or misjudgment. Her death is emblematic of a life lived under intense public scrutiny while navigating private turmoil, leaving enduring questions about Hollywood, personal agency, and the vulnerabilities of those who are idolized. Legacy and cultural memory. Natalie Wood's legacy is a portrait of beauty, talent, and resilience shadowed by pain and secrecy. She is remembered not only for her iconic performances, but also for the hidden struggles that shaped her artistry and humanity. Through her work, she brought to life the depth of human emotion, often reflecting her own experiences of trauma, fear, and love. Her story continues to resonate because it represents the duality of fame, the brilliance visible to the world and the private wounds concealed from view. Natalie's life invites reflection on the pressures of Hollywood, the consequences of early exploitation, and the courage required to navigate both success and personal pain. Her enduring influence lies in her ability to transform suffering into art, leaving a lasting impression on audiences and the collective memory of American cinema.